I am since a very long time an entrepreneur. Started out early in the internet sector, setting up companies in there, and quite early recognized that when you have small companies working with larger companies struggle. So then continued setting up a management consultancy, focusing on innovation, and finding in that process that the most important aspects in that is probably leadership and culture. I think there are many trends that come and go, but I've had a passion, and my passion has always been leadership and culture. Whereas we've seen in many young, innovative, fast-growing companies that culture, the corporate culture, has been an important component of managing organizations in fast growth and in fast change, and also seeing that the lack of the same can ruin a company. So even if there have been trends, the things that we have and I have been looking at is culture. And I think that the trends generally in the last 5 years is that even in more hierarchical environments, even those aspects of culture are becoming more important. So it's not just young companies, it's not just fast-moving industries, it's more general that in order to achieve the results that we want, it's not just about the strategies, it's also about engaging people to get involved in those strategies. So our tool is for clients who are looking to address the people side of getting things done. Companies who say that strategy is like a document and it doesn't really create value until you put it into action in an organization. And obviously the problem that we are trying to address is how do you actually get that action into place on a day-to-day basis. So whether the objective is a strategy or new process or a new culture, how do you get that to happen in a quick way and in a scalable way, and as we are a social game, in a fun way as well, that engages employees. I think that using the same mechanics as you see in games makes things more fun, and I think fun is an important part, even in business, to get people on board, because too many things are perceived as being boring and non-engaging. So if we can use certain parts of that, even in business processes, that's a good thing. But it doesn't mean that just by gamifying something that it works. It certainly has to work with the objectives that you have, and in our app, which is partly gamified, has components that it's not the only thing that we rely on either, because if you put gaming into an organization, it would work very well for a few, but if you try to touch the whole organization, you must also look at it from many more perspectives. Well, gamification is a broad word, and it's a word in that sense, and I think it's a bit of a trendy word to use. We are, for example, we're having points in our app, which is one of the components of gamification, and we can see that works very well with a specific group of people, not just necessarily generations, but more in functions. You have, for example, salespeople which are very competitive, and points work very well for competitive people. For non-competitive people, that can even be working in the opposite way, that we do not want to have it. So it works well with certain kinds of competitive people. It perhaps works well with millennials as well, but we are using the point system as one motivator, but for the bigger motivator we're using more the aspects that you see in social application, the social sides, which is not really gamification, but is still a very important way to engage people. I think the key thing is that there's a frustration that there are very good ideas in place, but they don't happen. So putting things into action is certainly one thing. Another thing I think is addressing the millennial issue, that companies are feeling that they're not equipped with the tools and their environments to make work rewarding for the people that they have to recruit into their organizations. We heard about PEX because we found out that in this group of professionals that works very much with change management and seeking performance in organizations, we were told that there was quite high on the agenda what culture can do and what the wrong culture can stop you from doing. And for that reason we thought it was interesting to come here and meet a new group of people that we haven't addressed before. and to reach out and say we work with culture and we tend to believe that culture is very important, or behavior as such, and what that means in change processes and seeking operational excellence. So we came here to ask a lot of questions, to see if there was a match between what we are trying to achieve with our app and platform and the needs that companies see from this specific point of view. And I think the interest has certainly been very good so far. It's a group of very interesting people who are very, very professional in their approach to actually getting things done, which is obviously aligned with what we're trying to do for our clients. There's been a lot of interesting discussions here. So our hypothesis that behavior and culture may actually be an important part of this is very important. The question of millennials comes up a lot. Is this thing of social tools, gamified tools, only for millennials? Is it a good solution for millennials, or can it be for more? Absolutely so. The need for new solutions that are more fun. There's an openness that was probably more than we expected to seeking new solutions and more fun solutions to really get people to engage in the change process that we want to do.